Hello, 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 everyone. Let's see who's going to join us. Make sure we're officially live, share with the groups, and we will get started. I will be perfectly honest, I forgot to charge my phone. So we're going to move quickly so we don't die in the middle of this, because Lord knows. All right, are we live? We are live. Share with the groups. And we want, there's the VIP and team. Okay, I think we're good to go. We should be all set. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Say hello when you are here and joining us. I'd love to know who's here with us. And just say hello and let us know where you're coming in from if you are not one of my locals here in New York. Okay, so real quick before we get started, I do want to just say Paper Pumpkin subscription. We are now into the October subscription period. We're in a whole new quarter, so there's brand new add-on dies available. These are called the Mary Tags and More dies add-on. It's got this cute little tag, the little Mary, and then this little fern-like piece here. And that will coordinate with this quarter's paper pumpkins. We have October, which is going to be the Nests of Christmas, and it's going to coordinate with our Nests of Winter Sweet collection that's in our mini catalog. And then the November kit will be filled with joy, which will have a Christmas theme as well. Excuse me. And that's going to have stockings in it. And then December, we'll have the Notes from the Heart. That'll be a really pretty set too, I think. But October is the next one up. So you have until October 10th to subscribe. So from there, just again, scrapbooking brochure that is available online. We have some brand new scrapbooking materials available, which I am going to share with you some. I did finally get my kit. But because of our limited time tonight, because of my phone, I don't want it to die. I will come on live, hopefully sometime this week to go over that. But it's literally scrapbooking for anybody, whether you're a scrapbooker or not. If you're a pro, you're going to love it because it's going to make it quick and easy. If you are a novice, such as myself, excuse me, it's going to make it quick and easy. So yeah. All right. Tonight we are using some of that scrapbooking product though, the two-toned paper. So I'm going to show you how we're going to use that. I only have 2 projects for you tonight, but I hopefully will have some time this week. I am on vacation. So hopefully I'll get a little crafty time available to me, but I have a lot of stuff to do around here. So I'm not holding my breath. But anyway, hoping. But these are the 2 cards we are going to make tonight. We are using some techniques with that two-toned paper that I can't wait to share with you because, again, it's not just for scrapbookers. So we have our Changing Leaves. It is a bundle. Currently, the bundle is unavailable because it's an hybrid embossing folder and die set. So the die does work with the embossing folder, so you can cut and emboss all at the same time. And I am going to show you how that all functions. Right there's the die sitting inside my embossing folder. I have it ready to go. And of course, the stamp set is currently still available. It is an online exclusive set, but the hybrid embossing folder with the die will not be available, I think, until October 18th. They're saying the expected shipment on that. But really awesome set. So I'm just going to set this aside for just a moment. And we're going to start with this card here. So I'm going to set this one aside for a minute. So for this one, we're using that two-toned paper. And I'm going to show you that. So for this card, I have a Cajun Craze card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to get our bone folder and we're going to go ahead and fold on that score line and get everything ready to go. So that's our card base. And then I have some pieces of the two-toned paper. It comes 12 by 12. This pumpkin pie came from the collection of Halloween Memories. It's 12 by 12, like I said, two-tone cardstock. It comes with the granny apple. You get pumpkin pie. You get 2 sheets of each color, by the way. So you get 2 sheets of pumpkin pie, 2 of early espresso. You get 2 of this granny apple green, 2 of the gorgeous grape, and then 2 of the pool party. And then you get 2 sheets of this new white, which is the white willow, which is an addition to our whisper white. And I did bring some whisper white over here. I will show you the difference. And then the old olive and the Cajun craze came from the Autumn to Remember pack. So again, this one, you get the 2 sheets of the Cajun craze, 2 sheets of the early espresso, 2 sheets of the mossy meadow, 2 sheets of the old olive, and then you get 2 sheets of pecan pie and 2 sheets of not pretty in pink. It's the oh my gosh, just lost it. It's the light pink. I can't think of it now. It's just like lost it. Anywho, so with the two-tone, and what that means is you have the dark, rich colored side, which is most closely related to our color. And then you have a lighter side. So that's the lighter. That's the lighter of the old olive. And there's the lighter of the pumpkin pie. So that's where the two-tone comes in. It does have a white core. So this color is actually printed. So you do have, there could be variations. Like if you were to buy 2 packages of this two-toned cardstock, you could see some variation in color because again, it is not, hey sis, it's not dyed all the way through. So it's a different process for creating this than our normal cardstock. Our normal cardstock is dyed straight through. It has the color. So if you were to tear this, you're still going to see that color all the way through the cardstock. This here, you have that white core. So that's where this differs. And again, the color is, it's white, starts out as white, and then they print the color on both sides. So again, one side is printed at a lighter shade. The other side is printed on as a darker shade. So it just makes it for kind of fun. For this particular card, I am using the lighter tones of this cardstock. So we're going to start by taking our pumpkin pie, and I am going to tear it. Now you're going to notice I'm tearing it toward myself, and that's what brings the white. If you were to tear it away from yourself, notice you don't see the white. The white is on the back side, but I'm tearing it toward because I want to see the white. So I'm going to set my little tear scrap away side there. I'm going to take my adhesive. And try to put it on straight this time. I was crooked when I put it on earlier because my adhesive, once it's down, it is down. So we're just going to try to be straight. There, that looks better this time. Okay. So there's our pumpkin pie. Now we're going to go ahead and We're going to do the same thing with our Cajun Craze. And again, we're just tearing it toward ourselves because we want that white core to show. And we're going to line that up probably right about there. That looks good. And now, same thing. We're going to tear. And you don't have to be, you can get a little rough around the edges if you want. It's all in what you like. You can make it a little bit wider. And that's going to go on right about there. I think I want a little bit more of that Cajun Craze to show. So we're going to tear a little bit more off here. There we go. Add our adhesive. There we go. That looks pretty good. So there's our card base. We have all those rich fall colors popping through. And now here comes the really fun part. I have a piece of our watercolor paper. This is my last sheet. It's the Fluid 100 watercolor paper. We do carry that in our annual catalog. You'll find that. It comes in these 5x7 sheets. And like I said, I got to order more, but I'm going to get this out of the way because I don't want that to get wet, because I have here a spritzer. I have my water painter. I'm using the very widest water painter here. So we're going to get that ready to go, but it comes in the set of three. You have the really fine point, then you have a medium point, and then you have this very wide one, and we're going to use the wide. So I'm going to set these aside. We don't need those. I have my paper towel for cleaning my brush, and I'm using Old Olive, Cajun Craze, and pumpkin pie. So we're going to start with our Old Olive. I like to turn it over and give it a good squeeze. And by doing that, I give it a nice little puddle of ink. But before we get too far, I'm going to take my spritzer here, and I am literally going to soak this paper because I want the color, when I put it on there, I want it to float. So we're really going to soak this paper. We're going to get it good and wet. Like that. Now we're going to bring in our ink. Like I said, we got a nice pool. And then this water painter, I'm just going to give it a little squeeze. So I want some of that water to get into those bristles because I want my ink to be really wet. And then literally, I want this to float and be on the lighter side. I don't want it to be too dark. That looks good. And now I got my paper towel here. And all you do to clean that ink out is just keep squeezing the water through until it starts flowing clear again. Okay. That looks good. We're going to close that up. Now we're going to take our Cajun Craze. We're going to do the same thing. Turn it over. Get a nice block of color. Got that nice and pooled up. And again, squeeze that water. Get that nice and juicy. Paint that out. Okay. So now we're done with the Cajun Craze. We're going to now bring in our pumpkin pie. Once we get our painter coming clear again. Okay. Close that up. Do the same thing with this. And my water's starting to absorb into the paper. So we're going to hit it with a little bit more water so that color floats. Like I said, we want it floating. And get that, pick that color up. Whoop. There we go. Just like so. So now we have our watercolor piece. And right now I have that pretty saturated, and we don't want to use it when it's saturated. So we are going to have to dry that with our heat tool. Get some of this color off our brush. There we go. Nice and clean. Oh, pretty near. Okay, there we go. So we have a nice clean brush again. We're going to go ahead, cut the cover on, and we're going to bring in our heat tool. And the cool thing with our Stampin' Up! Heat tool is we have two settings. We have a high and a low. Low for doing your drying your ink, and then high for when you are doing heat embossing. So it'll melt your embossing powder. Oh, well, again, Arlene, it's kind of whatever look you're looking for. If you want no white peeking through, then you would use our normal cardstock. The two-tone, though, has that white core, so that's where you would get that effect. So that would be a deliberate reason for doing that. So we still have our regular cardstock where you will never see a white core. Now, I don't need my cardstock here to be completely dried totally, because we are using this hybrid embossing folder. So having a little bit of dampness in the paper does help it take the shape of that emboss without tearing your paper, because it is a deeply embossed and cut design. So I don't have to have this bone dry. I just want to get some of the water out of it so it's not totally saturated. Because if it's too wet, it tends to tear. We're going to clean up our mess here. All right. Yep. And again, not worried about it warping at all, because again, it will go through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and it will be flattened right out. Okay, I think that should be dry enough. All right. This glass mat is amazing for doing messy things like this because it easily wipes up. Okay, so next we are going to bring over, oh my goodness. Where did I put? There it is. So we need our embossing folder with the coordinating die. So the die fits right into that debossed area. So it sits in there perfectly. And let's see. What do I wanna? Did I do it this way? I think. Because of this, it's not 6x6, it's 5x7. I had to get a little bit. There we go. I think that. Am I gonna get yes? Okay. So we're gonna bring in. Oh my goodness, the big boss. So when you're using the hybrid, you want your number one platform. We're gonna put. Let's see if I can't get this in there so you can actually see what I'm doing here. Followed by the embossing folder with the die. And then we're using our number 4 plate over the top. So let's see if I can't get this all in there. And you always want your seam in first. Roll this through. There we go. Okay. So yesterday, my husband and I, we went out to Oswego. We went and had lunch at Rudy's Lakeside. I don't know, I guess it's a restaurant, but it's an outdoorsy type thing that you get seafood and hot dogs, hamburgers. And we got to eat, our lunch out by the Lake Ontario. And then we went to Ontario Orchard. They had their fall bazaar, I guess you'd call it, going on. But they had all their produce out there, and I had never heard of this before. It's mashed potato squash, and I bought one. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to try it tomorrow, I think. But I had never heard of such a thing. It looks just like an acorn squash, only it is Snow White. But what I found on Pinterest is basically you roast it and then you mix it with like garlic and butter, and then you mash it like you would mash potatoes. And I guess it's supposed to have a resemblance to mashed potatoes. So I'll let you know, more to come on that. But yeah, we had a really nice day yesterday and just kind of shopped and walked around and whatnot. Okay, so we can bring our card back. We now have our pieces here. So we have these 3 leaves. And then I have from that same cardstock, two-toned, I have our little scrap pieces here that I'm going to die cut from these little dies, from the same set of dies. So I put them there here. Okay. So with this die set, you get that big die that cuts these leaves, but then you also have these little extras. So we need this, this, and this little guy. And then we're going to need that one too in a little bit. But we're going to start with, where's my baby boss? We'll use that. Okay, so we have our little baby boss. And we have our plates here. So we'll run that through. Yeah. Then we went to, while we were out there, we stopped at a place called the Country Max. And it was kind of like a, I don't know, like a, I don't know, they had like produce, not produce, but they had like farm animal stuff in there, and you could buy fish, like if you had an aquarium. But they also had like homemade doggy biscuits and stuff like that. So Tucker ended up with like fistfuls of these homemade doggy biscuits. Oh my God, he is in love with them. Now he wants to go outside to come back in immediately so that he gets treated. Because he knows if he goes out and does his business and then comes back in without being a stinker, he gets a treat. So now he wants to go out, run down the steps, and then run back in because he thinks that he should have a treat. He's such a stinker. Okay. Next, we're going to bring back I need some glue. We gotta poke those out too, but we're gonna start with our big leaf. And I'm just gonna use a little bit of glue. So we're gonna use a little. And that's just gonna go like so. Hold that down for just a second so it sticks. Okay. Next, we are going to take this here. Also is going to get a little glue. And that will go like so. We need to poke this out. And that will also get just a touch of glue. And then this one, we need dimensionals. Just used a couple. He's too smart for his own good, sis. He really is. And then this is going to go right about there. Then we need to poke this all out. There we go. Need this one. A little sprig here. These little fillers are always good to have. All right. Next, we're going to bring in the white willow. And I thought I grabbed some basic white. All right. So here's a piece of basic white up against the white willow. Not a huge difference, but the white willow, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, is a little bit whiter, brighter, where the basic white, although it's definitely white, it has maybe a little bit of a gray cast to it. I don't know if you can. It's not quite as bright white as the white willow. So the white willow is a brand new white added to our line. It originated with Close to My Heart, and now it's part of us. Okay, so now for this, I couldn't have done it without you. And we're going to use Cajun Craze. We don't need that glue right this minute. I'm going to ink up. And I couldn't have done it without you. Close this up. Need to bring back our baby boss. And we're going to use the little circle. It's a stitch circle that you'll find in the coordinating dies here. And let's see, do I have my Post-it tape? I do. Post-it tape keeps everything nice and run that through. There's our little circle. Next, we are going to add a little adhesive back here. And where, oh shoot. There we go. We got our leaf back. Okay, so we're just going to take our leaf and it's going to stick out about there. And then our little twig here is going to stick there. And then we need a couple dimensionals. Oh, no problem, Sue. There's always replay. I was just telling the story about how we went out to Oswego. We went to Ontario Orchard. We went to Rudy's. Had a fabulous lunch at Rudy's. And I was happy to say the seagulls did not attack us like they did the last time we were there, like 15 or plus years ago. Next thing to finish this card off, we have here, these are the faux glass dots. These are gorgeous. They have all the beautiful fall colors in them. And I'm going to take a little pumpkin pie and put there. I need a large Cajun craze. Oop, come on. Really? You're going to give me that problem here? There we go. We're going to put that there. And a little Cajun craze right down here. And that finishes card number 1. Your parents live out there? Awesome. Yeah, we made a day of it. Thanks, sis. Yeah. And sister and I are going out next weekend. We're going to do it again because it was just that much fun. I had to share it with her. And I'm excited to be going again because they have a Hobby Lobby in Oswego. Woo. So now I have one in Rome, one in Oswego. I can go whichever direction now. Okay, card number 2. This one. I have a hard time picking which one is my favorite because this one's got the watercolor leaves and it's all fall, but then this one has fall colored leaves. And I'm going to show you how I got that effect. And again, it is all because of that awesome two-tone paper. And it's really cool. A cool technique. So what we're going to do here for this one, we have an old olive card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and fold on that score line. Just like so. So there's that. Then I have a piece of Cajun craze. This measures, 5 1/4 by 4. And for that piece, I did go ahead and emboss it using the So Swirly. It kind of made me think of wind and the swirling fall winds, so the blowing the leaves around. So that's why I chose this one. So we're going to go ahead. This is a standard embossing folder, so you don't have to have any special plates. So we're just going to go ahead and run this through. So I just need our normal plates, and I'm going to run it through the big boss because it is a big embossing folder. Won't work with the baby boss. Okay. So check out that swirl. It's so cool. And because it's so textured, I am going to use liquid glue to adhere this to my card base so I don't have to hold that down for just a minute so it can stick. Oh, you went to Jordan for Fall Fest? Oh, cool. Yeah, they had Ontario Orchard had their Fall Fest going on. Yes, well, I guess all weekend, but we went yesterday. It was busy, but like I said, I had fun walking around in there because I found A mashed potato squash. I never heard of such a thing. So I can't wait to try it. I'm really excited. It's the cutest little thing. It looks just like an acorn squash, only it's white. And like I said, Pinterest has all kinds of stuff about it. I have never seen one nor heard of one ever. So pretty stoked. Gotta tell you. All right, so there's that. So we're gonna set that aside now. Next, which I already have, they're gonna be different colors because when I cut out all the different colors, I just picked out what I was going to use on this card, and then the leftovers I figured I'll use on this card. So they're not going to be completely identical, but you're going to get the gist of it rather than make you sit here watching me cut all this stuff out. So anyway, I cut out the old olive, I cut out the pumpkin pie, and I cut out the Cajun craze, which as you can see, I used 2 of the Cajun craze. I have this one left over, and then one of the pumpkin pie maple leaves. So I don't have any pumpkin pie maple leaves, but I do have a old olive one. We have that. We have this. So I think I'm going to, I think I'll use pumpkin pie and this. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe we'll do this and this. So like I said, it's not going to be identical, but that's what makes it cool. Okay. But now the thing that you need to see is how we get this distressed look with this two-tone cardstock. You can use, put it in here. I did not. I thought I did. All right, that's okay. You can use a sanding block, or you can use a good old-fashioned nail file. Okay? And that's all we're going to do. We're going to take our nail file and start hitting those high points. Just another technique for using this two-tone white core cardstock. There's one. The second one. Oh, you've had it, Sue? I've never, ever heard of it before in my life until I walked in there. And I had to buy one just because I had never heard of it. And like I said, we had lunch at Rudy's, and I always enjoy going to Rudy's. I think that's like the highlight of the summer. We get to go eat lunch on the lake. We were entertained by a couple of loons. Watching them out there dive for fish. Like I said, if you have a sanding block, great. If you don't, grab a nail file. I'm over here. You can't even see what I'm doing. Just hitting those high point areas. It does make a little bit of a mess, but again, if you're not making a mess, are you really crafting? Probably not. Okay. So we're going to start with our big leaf here. And we're going to go ahead and add some liquid glue to hold that down. Right? Rudy's is like the best. And if you live in New York State and you haven't been to Rudy's, I highly recommend it. It's worth the drive. If you feel last week was a bit of a drive, it's okay. It's worth it. Totally worth it. Oh, I was going to do this one too. Okay, where's my little file? We got to do this one too. Because we need that extra pop of color. So we're just going to grab some of that white core in there, bring it to the surface. There we go. Okay. So let's do this one. We'll put down as well. So that's going to go like that. And we'll take our pumpkin pie. Place that one. And then we'll do our old olive. Turn it a little more. There we go. Okay. Next, I have, where did I put it? Here it is. It's just a scrap piece of that white willow. And we have our stamp that says, "You are amazing in every single way." And we're going to use old olive. And then we're just going to stamp that like so. Well, that wasn't a very good middle. I'm trying to, there we go. That'll be better. A little bit better. Alrighty, close this up. Bring the baby boss back in. And we're going to use, whoops, this little bullet shaped die. So we're going to get that on there. Let's see. There. We're going to put that on like so. We need our plates. Oh, also stopped and got some wine at that, I forget the name of that place. It's in Mexico, but it's the Ashley Lynn. It's Ashley Lynn Winery sells her wines in there as well. So we stopped and got some wine while we were there too. I found my apple cranberry wine that my sister-in-law there, Miss Sherry here, got me for Christmas last year, and I fell in love with it. And I was able to get some more of it because that stuff is so good. But then she had all these other flavors, so I got a few of them. They were buy 3 get 1 free. So I bought 3 and got 1 free. I figured I'm on vacation. I can drink wine. I burned it. Okay, so now we're going to just throw on here some dimensionals. I got 3 of them. Ooh, the sausage shack. Ooh, the sausage shack. Okay, so now we're going to put this little thing right there. And then to finish it off, bringing back those full glass dots. And for this card, we're using the old olive. I'm going to take small, a large, and another small right there. And that finishes card number 2. So this one I did with a sanding block. This one I did with the nail file. So as you can see, both work just fine. I will check that out, Sue. We'll have to find them. All right. Well, that is all I have for you for today. Again, I hope that gives you some inspiration to think about that two-toned cardstock to add to your crafting repertoire. Because again, just some different effects that you can get from it. So here it is sanded, revealing that white core. Here it is torn, again, revealing that white core. So again, just something a little bit different and very fall. Happy first day of fall, by the way. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. And thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. I hope to be back next weekend with something more. Maybe we'll do something Christmassy. Oh, good to know, Sue. Thank you so much for that information. Because Saturday we'll be heading in that direction for sure. All right, guys, have a great week and an even better weekend ahead. Have a great day, guys. Bye for now.